I wanted to go over this because it seems like this was a popular video before, and I thought that I would do it again. So please subscribe and please share and help me get my channel back after it was hacked. I appreciate that. So what we got here is turn signals, incandescent or LED, and what you run into in a modern car is if you put LEDs in sometimes, if they don't come with them, some middle older cars, I guess is the best way to say it, you end up entrapped by the hazards, you end up going into security system problems, you go into, you get into the CPU. Now this is an independent turn signal circuit, and I had to do this on an old Lexus, 90s Lexus. So what we did was make a whole new system. The only thing that I used was the original turn signal stock. Once I found the wires, I don't remember what the color codes were, but you know that would be probably different on your car anyway. So this, you got to go buy a bunch of wire. You got to solder. You got to you can either get sockets or wire the LEDs in directly. You got to go all. This is a completely new add-on turn signal system. Now that means you'll have to take the dashboard out, which is generally not much of a problem, and you'll have to find where the two indicator signal lights are, and you'll have to do those too. So you got your battery. You're going to most likely be negative earth unless you're working on something pre-1967. You will find some positive earth vehicles. You got to remember, a lot of LEDs are polarity sensitive. But anyway, let's just go with negative earth battery. So you're going to put a fuse in. Okay, always put a fuse in. LEDs aren't going to require much of a fuse. Okay, and even if you run in this case 6, you may run as many as 8. It just depends on, you know, if you got side signals like on a British car, on the wings, on the fenders. So let's cover the prongs. So on an older car, like I have a lot of older cars, you only have a single indicator switch, light lamp in the dashboard, and you have to know that this is left and that's right when you go up. You end up, that becomes instinctive. Old Pontiacs, old cars just have one. They don't have a right and a left in the dashboard. So you probably will have a 3-prong flasher. They will be marked with a B or an X in one right here, B or an X, and that just means power. So you'll come past the fuse and power that up, and then you'll have a P, and the P is what goes to the dash lamp, the single dash lamp. And then the other one, the load, the L, will go to the turn signal switch where you distribute the power left or right. And then you end up back up in this circuit here. So you'll go left or right signals, and you have to wire them this way. You have to wire the lamp, one side of the lamp, and ground it. And I ground everything individually, everything, not just lamps, everything that I do. A lot of cars, they'll wad them up, 4 or 5 things, and they'll run it to one ground, one earth, and then that's where your trouble starts. So you use, you know, self-tapping screws, dielectric grease, everything you can to get a good earth, and it will be so much brighter and so much nicer and so much more snappy. And we always know that LEDs are a lot more snappy and brighter. They snap on and off so much quicker than an incandescent. Incandescent sort of fade in and out, and LEDs pop. So anyway, that's the way this works. This is very simple. That's one circuit right there for the 3-prong flasher. And when you see this symbol, it means ohms, which is resistance, somewhere around 6 ohms. And that symbol there means resistance. That's just a light bulb in the dash, and that's all there is to that. Now, most of us will use a 2-prong flasher. Now, it takes an LED flasher, and some flashers, LED flashers, have an individual earth. Be sure and do that if that's what you got. Don't see that very often anymore, but I have seen it before. And the other thing about when you put in your ballast, if you have to, and or whatever you want to do, you don't really know where to put them. I have one car where I put them each one at a lamp, and they didn't work. And I put them in this line, a single one in each line, and they worked. I don't think we're running into that too much anymore. But the other thing you can do is just wire in an incandescent bulb in your LED circuit where you can't see the incandescent bulb flashing. And it will cause enough resistance for this to work. And then you don't have to buy the 6 ohm little gold resistor. You don't have to do that. So what you do is you got 2 prongs, and it'll be obvious. The plug will tell you, which one you got load, and then you're in and out. And you'll go to your switch, which isn't very hard to deal with. You can sort that out with a volt ohm meter when you're trying to find the original wires, just with continuity checker. And then you'll disable the rest of the system, and then you'll go your left side. You'll come out. You'll figure out which one's the left, and you'll go up and you'll wire your dash lamp. You'll wire the rear and the front, and however you want to put resistance in that line if you need it. A lot of times you can put resistance on the earthing side of the bulb. That's okay too. This is some trouble. This can be trouble, but boy, it sure is beautiful when it works. And it can take a good long time. The other thing that you can run into, especially if you ground things in an odd way, will be that you'll light up all 4 corners, and you won't figure out why. And that's another reason you'll have to have ballast resistors. But anyway, you go to the right side and you just do the same thing. You got your rear, you got your dash lamp, and you got your front. And it's really not a lot of trouble. You just wire the car carefully. Most cars, it's not terrible to go through the dashboard in some way. Some cars have double dashboard bulkheads, and that can be kind of a problem. Just get a piece of wire. It can be a certain amount of trouble, and it'll take a pretty good amount of wire. You'll have to go, down the steering column, down into the carpet, down to the back of the car, through the back seat, and then once you do that, you got it. I mean, you're in pretty good shape. And then the system is very simple, and this is all there is to it. I'll do a flyover. Battery, and this system is the old system that you run into on 60s cars, and this is the way you would wire your new system right here. Nothing complicated. A lot of fun to do. So I do recommend that if you're having trouble or all that other stuff, then do it this way. If you have trouble getting your incandescents to fire off nicely with an LED and you're not getting the resistance, sometimes you can just leave the old bulb in it and use your original wiring and put an LED in the system and just put it inside the lens housing, the turn signal housing, and you can do it that way. So that's it right there. And I sure appreciate you watching. Be sure and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share, and help me get my channel back. I sure would appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye, guys. Thank you again.